Ladies and gents, you're not ready for this. The XRP Ripple coin price could go through the roof and reach $2,000 or even more. That's pretty cool, right? Yes, that's exactly what crypto experts say. And it's all because of Coinbase, the biggest cryptocurrency market in the world. They have the power to make this happen with their huge moves. Let's look more closely and see what's going on. Nota bene, XRP is once again getting a lot of attention in the crypto market. And Coinbase is the star of the show this time. New data from the blockchain shows that Coinbase's XRP reserves have dropped from about 970 million XRP to just 99 million XRP in just 90 days, a drop of almost 90%. That's a huge change that's making people argue about what it means for the future of Ripple's coin. Del Crexto, a crypto analyst, wrote about the move on X and said no one is ready for what comes next, which perfectly describes how buyers feel. Based on blockchain tracking, Coinbase has cut the number of cold wallets from dozens to just a few. Each of these wallets now holds about 16.5 million XRP. But here's the catch. Blockchain doesn't show that a lot of things were sold. Instead, it keeps track of large payments to addresses outside of XRP. This means that XRP hasn't gone away, but it is no longer visible. Why does this matter then? One of the best ways to tell if there might be market pressure is to look at the amount of visible exchange assets. When exchange amounts go down, there are usually two ways to look at it. It's possible that whales or companies are moving assets off of the exchange for strategic reasons, which would make it harder to track liquidity. Why is it bullish? Coinbase might not have as much sell-side pressure if there is less XRP on the platform. This could lead to a price rise if demand rises. This is where things really start to get interesting. Coinbase could be the thing that starts it all. The exchange may be getting ready for a new push for XRP. If these moves are institutional custody shifts, over-the-counter deals, or steps toward wider integration. After all, the fact that Coinbase relisted XRP in 2023 after Ripple won in court was already a big turning point. If the site keeps accepting XRP and adds new trading pairs, liquidity programs, or access for institutions, it could increase demand. Now that there is much less cryptocurrency on Coinbase, even small increases in buying could cause prices to rise quickly. This set of circumstances makes what I call a powder keg situation. Few coins are available to see, and Coinbase is one of the biggest platforms in the US, so it has a lot of power. Because stocks have been cut, the price of XRP could move faster and harder than most people think. This is a lot like Bitcoin's supply shocks before halving rounds. Scarcity makes effects stronger. That being said, the uncertainty can't be avoided. The XRP has left Coinbase, but it's not clear where it went based on the blockchain. Some people think that institutions like BlackRock are moving their assets into custody, while others think that the company is changing, and still others think that assets could be gathered for long-term storage. Whatever the reason, the game board has changed, and the market is paying attention. Traders no longer want to know if XRP is on the move, but when this new situation will cause prices to change, no one is ready for what's going to happen next, as Del Crexto said. With Coinbase at the heart and XRP's liquidity changing quickly, the next few weeks could be a turning point for one of the most controversial cryptocurrencies. This is where things get exciting. Let's look at what the top crypto experts think will happen. This part is very important. True. Isn't me. You might be shocked by some of the XRP numbers being thrown around. They might change how you think about the future of this coin. So if you hang out with people who use XRP, you'll find that in just a few months, XRP went from being unknown to being one of the top 3 cryptocurrencies. So that similarity hits home. A lot of people think that history is about to rhyme. John Squire was even more direct. XRP isn't asleep, it's just loading. That phrase has almost become a mantra for people who believe that Ripple's token is slowly getting ready for a breakout while doubters brush it off. Even more, the XRP Avengers said that, believe it or not, XRP will print the biggest green light ever. There's also Jack the Rippler, who says it straight out, buy as many XRP as you can because each one will be worth $100 soon. Not everyone agrees on the time frame, of course. This is where real experts weigh in. Armando Pantoja, a market strategist, recently said that he thinks XRP will hit $1,000 eventually. But people need to be patient. He said that bold statements like Jake Claver's call for $1,500 to $2,000 by 2026 may sound exciting, but they're not possible. As Pantoja put it, XRP needs a lot more time to get to those levels. He used the background of Bitcoin and XRP to make his point. Bitcoin went over $1,000 in 2013 but couldn't keep it. It wasn't until 2017, nearly 8 years after its launch, that it really did stay above that price. On the other hand, XRP has been around for 13 years and is still worth about $3, which makes the road ahead look longer. Pantoja, on the other hand, said that the SEC lawsuit that began in 2020 has put a special strain on XRP because it has slowed down progress, shook investor trust, and slowed down adoption. Given that Ripple has won the fight, the coin may finally be able to grow in a way that is more like Bitcoin's. What did he say? It's likely that XRP won't break the $1,000 mark until 2033 or 2035. That would be a 3,100% rise from where it is now. That number doesn't make sense, but Bitcoin at $100 or Ethereum, M at $10 did too. Blockchain history is full of moves that at first seemed impossible. The XRP community is hopeful, but experts are wary at this point. People who tweet that $100 will be reached soon think that momentum and supply changes like Coinbase's reserves dropping could cause prices to move quickly. On the other hand, analysts like Pantoja stress that XRP's fundamentals, adoption curve, and regulation clarity will not be fully developed for many years. There's no doubt that XRP's next chapter is now ready to begin. People who believe in and don't believe in the coin have both been fascinated by its path, whether it's a short-term explosion that creates the biggest green candle ever, or a slow climb toward a 4-digit value in the 2030s. Galaxy also said that it's hard to ignore the memories of past cycles. It's possible that XRP's time will come sooner than anyone thinks, right? Now let's talk about Ripple's partner, as this is where things start to look really good. I'm going to show you a hint that everyone who owns XRP should pay attention to. When crypto researcher Smoke shared that part of the paper, it got a lot of attention in the XRP community, and for good reason. It was a simple but strong line that stood out. 38% of the world's top 100 banks used Ripple goods at one point. That's right. Almost 4 out of 10 of the world's biggest banks didn't just play around with Ripple's technology, they used it. That's not just hype, it's been proven to work at the highest level of global banking. It's easy to see why. The new Ripple system has something that the old SWIFT system doesn't: faster work, less waste, and no longer having to use old-fashioned Nostro funds. Banks around the world are holding trillions of dollars in accounts that aren't being used right now so that they can make cross-border payments easier. That's cash that ain't being used and isn't adding value. With Ripple's products, which use XRP as a bridge asset, those trades can happen in seconds and don't tie up huge amounts of cash. As the paper itself said, So there was a huge move of 10 million XRP, which is about $31.8 million, to an unknown wallet. This made the cryptocurrency world go crazy. Big changes like this always make people look twice, but in the case of XRP, they have caused a lot of chatter in the market. Who is doing it? Even more important, what does it mean for the price? Xaf Crypto, a crypto observer, said that Korean whales have been very busy lately buying XRP. South Korea has been a leader in the use of cryptocurrencies for a long time. XRP is popular with both individual and business investors because it can be used to make payments across borders. The fact that this area is becoming more important says that whales are not just trading for short-term gains, they are setting themselves up for long-term strategic accumulation. The timing of this move is what makes it so interesting. It happens at the same time as a rise in interest from institutions, such as the huge amounts of money held on platforms like Binance. Reports say that Binance has about 2.9 billion XRP on hand right now, making it the second largest asset on the market after Bitcoin. This kind of concentration of XRP in the hands of institutions can have a big effect on how prices move. When whales store more Bitcoin in private wallets, they lower the amount of Bitcoin that can be traded. This can cause prices to rise when market demand rises. Analysts think that actions like the transfer of 10 million XRP could be part of a bigger plan to get the market ready for a rise. Big players, especially those in South Korea and other places, often buy quietly so as not to cause price spikes right away. Once there is a critical amount of accumulation, prices can go through the roof with just a little buying from individual investors or a return of institutional interest. The fact that XRP is used for global purchases makes this effect even stronger. XRP is useful, unlike tokens that are only worth speculation. This makes it appealing to banks, payment providers, and big holders. If more people start using it, especially in places like South Korea, whale gathering could become a strong way to drive up prices. As more money leaves exchanges and goes into private